Hello everyone, I am Vanita, Assistant Professor, Department of Microbiology, Maharani Science College for Women, Mysuru, Karnataka. Since my subject is microbiology, I am going to talk about the various ways of how the food gets contaminated. What are the different sources of contamination of food? Before we go into the main details of contamination, let us first see a few bacterial genera that are commonly seen in foods that we eat. They include some soil microflora, water microflora, that is the microbes present in soil and water and even in human beings, especially those that are present in the intestinal microflora, and also some of the important intestinal pathogens can be isolated from the foods. So that is what you are seeing in this slide. Now let us assume that you had gone to a restaurant to have lunch, and you had ordered chicken biryani, and along with that you had some raita, and also you had some beverages which was served by the waiter, and as dessert you had some ice cream along with fruit salad. Now after coming home, after some 1 or 2 hours, let us say that you start having some stomach discomfort. You start going to the washroom again and again and again. So after some 3 to 4 times, you will say that you had some food poisoning, right? So what does that mean? So food poisoning is a very colloquial term used by us for saying that you had some contamination happened in the food. So, and through that contamination, some unwanted microorganism has entered inside your body, which is responsible for this discomfort. So now, if the microorganism has entered your body through the food, that means it has entered the food through from some source. So what are those sources? So that those sources is what we are going to see in detail. So the first and the most common source of contamination of food is from plant and plant products. So for the preparation of food, the most important ingredient that we use is plant and plant products. It could be in the form of fruits or vegetables or some other plant products, right? Now how these plants get the microorganisms, again it is a very important area. So plants get the microorganisms from various other sources, like from air or from water with which it has been gardened, or from the sewage water that is flowing nearby, or from even animals that are reared in the nearby areas. And apart from all these external sources, there are various other internal sources that is present inside the plant itself. So plant has a microflora called natural flora. So those microbes will also be present in the plant. Now when these plant products are taken and then processed during food processing, most of these microorganisms will get destroyed. But if the plant product is used as a raw food, or if the plant is not processed or cooked properly doing food preparation, then these microbes can very well stay in these plant foods, and then they can be responsible for either spoilage or for diseases. Now I have mentioned some of the very common bacterial genera that could be present in these plant products for your reference. The next important source of contamination is animal and animal products. Now when I say animal products, it could be the flesh of the animal, or it could be products like egg or milk that which we get from the animals. Now animals, again like plants, have a natural microflora on their surfaces. The surfaces include skin of the animal, which we call hides, or hooves of the animal, hair, and even when we say poultry, it could be the feathers and feet of the animal, which are all heavily burdened with microorganisms which can easily enter the food when they are processed. And as I said, apart from all these external surfaces, even the internal areas of the animal like respiratory tract, gastrointestinal tract also have different genera of microorganisms that can enter inside the food while processing. Now these fleshes that are eaten usually will be cooked thoroughly, but sometimes if they are not heated properly or cooked thoroughly, then the microbes can very well survive in the food and can cause spoilage or disease when they are consumed. And again, in this slide at the end, I have mentioned some common bacterial genera that are seen in the foods. Now, as I said earlier, even human beings can be a source of microorganisms. Human beings have something called normal microflora in them, where the microbes can be present on the surfaces of human beings, even inside their system, like gastrointestinal tract, respiratory tract, genitourinary tract, etc. So these microbial population will keep on shed in the environment through dead skin or hair, or while they talk or cough or sneeze. So they say that around 10 to the power of 3 to 10 to the power of 4 viable microbial cells are shed per minute by one person. So these microbes can be very well present in the surrounding environment where the human beings are present, and if the person who is handling the food does not maintain hygienic conditions, then the foods will get easily contaminated by microorganisms from these food handlers, especially if they don't wash their hands before preparing the food, or if they don't wear gloves or masks or caps or even aprons while handling the food, then very easily microorganisms can enter inside the food, causing spoilage or disease. Now, apart from all these direct sources, there are some indirect sources from which the microbes can enter inside the food, including soil, water, and air. See, soil contains different groups of microorganisms, and how these soil microbes can enter inside the food. There is no direct connection between them, but from the soil, the microbes can enter inside water, or they can enter inside air through wind, or they can even enter very easily inside plants and animals, as the plants and animals are very much connected with the soil. So the soil microbial flora can be present on the surface of plants and animals, and when these plants and animals are used for food preparation, then these soil microflora can be present in the food again. Same way, water also contains something called natural flora in them, and when this water is used for cooking the food or for processing the food or preparation of food, the water microflora also can enter inside the food. And from the soil and water, when during wind currents or during rain, the air will get contaminated by the microbial cells, and when this air comes into contact with the food, then the cells or the spores of microorganisms can enter inside the food. So air is more like a carrier, a vehicle through which the microbes can enter inside the food from soil and water. So I have mentioned some very important bacterial and fungal genera here, which are commonly seen in the food from these different types of sources. So with this, I would like to end my presentation. Thank you.